Hey there. All right, Menard Matriarch, Monks of the Way. This would be a Monk Monday, and topic is properties of suffering. So there's a little something from MN13 that I saw where Buddha is saying that a person should be concerned with some properties of suffering, such as the the pleasantness, pleasurable aspect, the danger, and the way out. So, three things that you'd want to be thinking about if you're thinking about some kind of particular suffering. Let's go ahead and try to give an example, if we can, of those three different properties of suffering. So, number one, the pleasurableness of it. Well, first, let's pick a particular suffering. Let's say your job. You hate your job. Okay. So, what's the pleasurable aspect of it? Why are you caught up in it in the first place? Well, you'd like to have food to eat, right? You'd like to have some security. It's a regular job, maybe. I don't know. Let's say it is. You want the security. Maybe it isn't. You want the flexibility. Whatever. There's you can see where there's a pleasurableness of it that you're drawn into this particular suffering. What's the danger of it? Well, you could have burnout, your stress, could impact your health, could impact your mental state. You could be abusive to people when you know that you care about. A lot of stuff could happen. A lot of bad stuff could be. The way out, how can you do that? Well, it's probably got something to do with at least the pleasurableness of it, right? So, can you find another way to make a living? You could. Some people do. You could put out applications. Maybe it's the type of work you're doing that you don't like. You could find work that you do like. You could find work that you're interested in. You could find work that's actually somewhat pleasurable for you. You Most of the time, you start doing anything that you enjoy as a job and you don't enjoy it anymore because now it's a job, the things that entails. But I don't want to get too far out of topic. In any event, let's pick something else. Say gambling. You love gambling, but you, there's that pleasurableness of it. The I guess the dopamine in the brain, the pleasureness of it. When you win, you get to brag how you're a winner. Then there's the danger of it. You can't pay rent, but you're blowing all your money on gambling. We got Tracy. Appreciate you. Talking about the parts of suffering. Yep. New Jersey. Appreciate it. Out here in Omaha, Nebraska at the Walmart on 72nd Street. So Buddha was saying that there's these aspects to suffering that a person should be thinking about, and that's the pleasurableness of it, the danger of it, and how to get out of it. So I was going through that, and I'm thinking gambling. Well, that's probably a good example, right? The pleasurableness of gambling. I think we all know what that would be. You got the danger, you could get evicted because you can't pay your rent. You could not have food. I've certainly known gamblers that, for 2 weeks they have money, and then the last 2 weeks of every month they're borrowing cigarettes and asking for spare change for the vending machine because they don't have any money to smoke or eat whatsoever. It could damage their relationships. It certainly did damage their relationships. And so, the dangers, the way out. Well, with such an addiction like that, there are help programs. There is outright cold turkey and discipline. There's finding other ways to use your time to get your excitement in life. Let's see if we can go for three. What will be a third suffering? I'm trying to make these things different. The first one was, in case you weren't here, was a job that you hate. Then I said gambling addiction. Let's see. Picking the wrong life mates. You pick the wrong life mate and you keep doing it. People do that. Some people they will pick the extreme submissive as their life partner and they're not happy with them because they are exactly what they want them to be. And that doesn't work out. So, what do they find pleasurable about it? Well, from what I've seen, they like being able to be the one in charge and they like being put up on a pedestal to be the one that makes the decisions and is the important one. But then the danger, well, they're not going to find a fulfilling relationship and their partner basically needs them to live their life for them as well as live their own life. Imagine how exhausting that would be. The partner generally will feel bad about themselves because they realize what they're doing. It's not good for them. So damaging relationships once again and not being fulfilled and causing your own suffering, suffering of others. The way out, relationship counseling probably wouldn't cut it. Self-development, yeah. Yeah, in relationships there's a partnership if it's going to be healthy, not a dictatorship. I think if we look at the different kinds of suffering that we might endure, we can look at these different parts and see that they're meaningful. We can break a big problem into smaller parts that we can manage more easily, that we can at least comprehend more easily. Um, so instead of, looking at this big problem and just thinking all kinds of aspects as whatever you might imagine, you focus instead and go, okay, what's the pleasurable part of this? You start to deconstruct it and you start to understand it instead of, obviously what you probably would have done before, which is not understand it, not deconstruct it, at least not in a meaningful way. So you get that going for you. I had really thought, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put my at everyone message out today saying I'm doing it now. Come on over. I didn't do that. Yep, that's my mistake. Didn't really send out an invitation today. Well, that's how it goes. It bothers me. It's a dissatisfaction. Some people will say that's a level of suffering. Okay. So that situation, what was pleasure about it? How did I get into it? Well, I was hasty. I wasn't detail oriented. I was just la 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 running around by the seat of my pants instead of being disciplined. And that was the pleasurable end of that. The danger of it, I don't get to transmit live to as many people as I'd like to. Um, the way out of it, well, I could learn from that and remember next time, right? Seems like that could be a useful way to look at stuff. Somebody wanted me to bring up a particular topic the other day. I don't remember what it was. I do remember one of the aspects of it, so I'll share that. Was that a person's life is a place that they live, and it's like a house maybe, and it's a house that's been built. Most people, it's a house that's been built primarily of their wrongful desires. That's what built the house for them. And it's rotten, and it smells, and it doesn't really protect them from the elements, and they keep living in it. It's what they know. They're familiar with it. Well, you have to have the courage for change. Certainly, change is, you know, stressful most often. In general, it is. But you have to have the courage to start changing things. So, rebuilding. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying not, but I'm not saying to tear down your house, destroy your life so that you can make a new one. For almost nobody is that a good idea. However, you know, start with the front door maybe. Maybe start with that floor that's unsafe. You know, maybe make some change. And, you know, let's look at it in a more Buddha type way here, a more analytical type way, and go, okay, well, if the wrongful desires built this shitty house, well, wholesome desires can rebuild this house into something that I can live in, that I can be happy in, that I can be proud of. And I'd say that's true. So I'd identify some wholesome desires and get after it. I think that makes some sense. I should have got Robert there. Appreciate you. Missed the bulk of the Milk Monday talk here. It was about parts of suffering, but you can always go back and take a look at it. It's live, but if you guys have anything that you wanted to bring up, you certainly can. You're saying you must have a plan. Yeah, that's probably back from when I was talking about the house thing. Engaged with ideas that challenge you to be the person engaged. You can watch from the beginning and check it out. You can like or follow. If it's TikTok, you can like. And whatever platform it is, if you like or follow, it'll help you to see more of the same kind of content that you like. And if you want to keep seeing this kind of content, you could buy me a cup of coffee. You could go to PayPal and donate to Monks of the Way, and you could use Zelle. And a cup of coffee is not that much, but it could help me do the work that I need to do to help people out. And I do appreciate you, whether you donate, you don't donate, you do show up, you don't show up. I appreciate y'all. All right. Well, I want the teachings of Buddha to bless you. I want truth to remove delusion the way light removes darkness. And I absolutely want you to keep in mind it's a great day to be alive.